So today I want to discuss the foster care system and the education that we provide to foster parents to become certified to foster children. I chose this discussion today because one thing that's really important to me is the foster care system due to the current setting that I work in and what I want to do with my future. But one thing is just the basic understanding of how foster homes are kind of separated. We have a therapeutic foster home where you get 24-hour support. You'll be able to receive counseling, be able to encourage the child to go to counseling and talk about their issues and talk about what's going on in their life, as well as involve the families later on if it ends up everything being okay. And the child will be able to address those problems that they're having with their family and be able to actually talk about their feelings. And the 24-hour support is really important for foster parents too. Whenever you really don't know what's going on, you need somebody to talk to instead of just kind of dealing with the situation on your own. Because at the end of the day, these kids do have a home that is not yours. That is somewhere else. And another reason why I want to discuss this is just because how many hotline cases will go out about the foster care system. In 2019, there was over 167,000 hotline cases made within 6 months, just based off foster homes. And some of these were for physical abuse, others were for neglect or verbal abuse, and the effects are taken on so many levels. Our detention centers are full, and our education systems are missing out on students. We're kind of setting kids up for failure, and we don't really have the support system that is provided to the foster parents to kind of get them to understand how important their job is to mentor and lead children into the future. We need to provide more education for not only the children, but for foster parents to kind of understand how important their job is, but also give them some ideas to structure a program set up for kids to strive for success. And I think that also involves more strict enforcement to foster care. The funds are available to do this, and we're really just not using them. Some of the current things that are going on right now that we're really not talking about, which we should be, is the problem that's going on. 1 in 5 foster children will become homeless, and only half of them will be employed by 24. Less than 3% of foster kids will get a college degree, and that's not even understanding that there's actually specific scholarships set up for foster children. So it's like we are not using those resources or educating foster parents about the opportunities that they have to increase these children's ability to live a very successful and plentiful life, because we aren't backing up foster parents in the education that they're receiving and letting them know, their job as a mentor and their ability to increase these children's lives. 1 in 4 children in the foster care system will experience PTSD. So in 2016, there was 451,000 children in foster care, and 276 of them aged out of the foster care system, which means they never found a foster home. They never found an adoptive home, or they ended up having to kind of start life on their own course and having to go into programs that were set up by the state for aged out foster care systems. For example, in Springfield, we have Footsteps, and in Joplin, their hospital, Freeman, has a program set up for kids who have aged out of the foster care system. And that's a big problem. If you think about it, nobody wants to have to feel like they are out in the world alone without the kind of support that they need, and it's just like moving on from program to program. Some of the things that have happened politically in the foster care system that have kind of put a stern on enforcement of foster parents getting more education and setting more appropriate people into a foster care setting is in 2017, the Senate declined a bill for requiring additional fingerprinting for foster parents. And I think that's extremely important. It was set up to where every 6 months we were going to re-fingerprint the people that we have in the foster care system and readdress, the education and make sure that they're understanding where they're going moving forward. And that actually got declined. In 2018, when a boy died in his foster home, political leaders put out a bill in place to hold and retain the abuse records of foster parents. And I think that's extremely important, just because before that information wasn't being held on to that long. And so who knows, somebody could, get remarried or change their name and stuff like that, and that information isn't there to make sure that those people are not being set up back into the same homes and causing the same problems that they were before. And that's really important for foster children. Specifically, foster care started in 1853, but therapeutic foster homes started in 1995. More people started going to college, and they realized that there was an opportunity for kids to be placed in a more therapeutic environment with somebody who was clinically able to address the problems that they have going on, whether it be mental health issues, depression, not being able to be placed with other children. That's another really important reason why kids go to therapeutic foster homes. But regular foster homes can be set up in an instance where you can have 4 or 5 kids even. I've heard of foster homes having up to 5 kids. And that's a really hard situation to deal with if you're not properly educated. Because if you have 5 children who are all dealing with different situations and you're only able to handle, 2 or 3 of them with the resources that have been provided to you through this program, that can be really difficult to ensure that these kids are set up out of that statistical area of what the foster care system has set up for it. So my solution to increasing the education is using the funds from the Family First Prevention Act of 2018. And this act says that we want to decrease the amount of foster homes by allowing the education in home so that the children don't have to be removed. They can actually stay in their homes and increase their education. So the funds that are provided in that will go into foster homes to increase that education and get them prepared just like they would get a parent prepared. And that, I think, is going to increase the education. And then the requirements, just be more harsh on the requirements.